There we go. Hello YouTube, hello Twitch. Thanks for coming on by and checking out my VODs. The game we're playing today, well, once again, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. And I am Zaran FI, or you can call me Zera or Assembly Z. Alright, so I did a little bit of
I crave for adventure.
Yes you do. I was checking out to see if I can make a new character, just like a Kingmaker. And yeah, I can. But I need to sell some stuff. I spent all my money on magical items and baubles. I would have made new characters if I knew better. But I don't regret it too much. So, let's go through the things I need to sell. Keep the bow, just in case. Alright. These are the sellables. And I'm just going to go through these real quick. Well, quick enough anyways. I mean, most of these I'm never going to use. I'm not going to search through my inventory and just... Actually, that one's useful. Yeah, don't care. That one's useful, but I'm just not going to go through this stuff. This stuff gets pretty clogged up. This one could be useful. Ran into a meta magic feat. I wasn't sure how it worked. Actually seemed fascinating. Lowered the spell level of a spell using the lower level spell slot. Wondering if it makes a first level spell to a 0 level spell even. If that's the case, well, we can get ourselves a very, very powerful cantrip. Now, I get that some of these can be actually pretty useful on their given merits. I'll give that a go. Like potions of protection against evil in a campaign. You know what? I actually might keep that. Yeah. Already got that, I believe. But in a campaign against devil's demons, why not keep it? This should actually allow me the chance to get an ally. I might remember using it, or remember to use it. Let's see. Yeah, that's another one. Okay, and that's pretty much everything I'm willing to sell. There we go. Glad the person has limitless pockets, basically. Let's go to those scrolls real quick. Perfect. Go back here, save the game because I can't help myself, but do that before I've talked to everybody. Let's get an experienced person. This is what I'm talking about here. And it's going to get to be probably 500 more gold every time I level up. There we go. Alright. So I thought about who I was going to have join in my party. I think the first person, I think I have a pretty good idea who I want. Come on. Click the thing. Alright. So I want a beast tamer. It doesn't do the typical bard thing of giving you your bardic song, wherever it is. There it is. Inspire Courage. A very powerful and useful ability for everyone. And instead gives that to themselves and their party of animals. And it upgrades over time, so... Yep. Now if I ever want to buff the party, I can use Inspire Greatness at later levels, and Inspire Heroics instead, either way. But if I'm okay with only buffing the animals that this person's summoning, this is the way to do it. Well, yeah. Another thing I'm curious about is it's a, well, let's see, the summoned and pet allies. So I like the idea of having high-level summons with a bard that's fairly competent. The only problem I have with this is that exactly the reason why the Inspire Courage is gone. I guess I could consider the Inspire Greatness later. Anyways, I'll stick with Kitsune. Go for the one that has Charisma. And I kind of forgot what I was supposed to do here. I think it was Hunter. Yep. I want her to use a longbow. Okay. Boost those stats to 16. Average that one out. Give some stat boosts and I don't know. Just kind of average that crap out. Yeah, that works. Alright, so I want most of my party to be persuasive whenever I can. Actually, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to see what I put down for what I wanted to do for these characters. I did a didn't make a new game, but I just tested the stuff out. Yeah, okay. Well, that doesn't help. And I didn't have to close that either. Oh well. So, I wanted her to have knowledges. And I think that covers everything, actually, yeah. She's a bard, so she should have knowledges. Let's jump back real quick just to make sure she actually keeps them. Yes. Okay. It's going to be a point-blank shot. Now, the next spell I want to choose after Grease is Remove Fear. I know my minions are going to jump into the Grease pile whenever they can. Alright, and yeah, she likes atheism. It's good flavor. Alright. Shows that she was skinny. There we go. I think the eyes are red. No idea. Yeah. We'll go with what I think. Alright. Color of clothes, let's give them some purples. No. Yeah, sure. I don't know what the pants are about. Nice bardic pants almost going on right there. Alright. No tattoos, and well, I guess she was also skinny, so. Alright. Hey, what's up, Zealous? You know what? We'll make her eyes green. Well, you can tell from there anyways. Fold over. Yeah, sure, that works. And you know what? Let's see what kind of clothes. Let's give her the same clothes, or similar enough. No, I don't like the pants, but you know what? There you go. She changes clothes when she transforms.
Interesting.
All right.
I won't take that. No contest.
We cannot be defeated. I lead, you follow.
I failed.
You know what? Aggressive. I like the idea of aggressive for this person. All right, so 420. All right. There we go.
Let's move already.
Because I can imagine Kai being a bard that summons things to attack people. That's what I imagine. Alright, so it gives the proficiency of bows. She can use bells. Her bardic ability, I'm curious if it will affect allies. If it does, that'd be great. Be a kind of a weird sidestep, but I imagine it only works on the summons. Alright. And of course they give her that. Good thing I saved the bow. I said, oh, right. That masterwork. It's worth money. Alright. A bow's bigger than her. Alright. Time to level up. Oh, only 4 skill points this level, huh? Well, knowledge as it is. Next skill is remove fear. That's a useful one. And your allies are running around like idiots. Okay, get rid of that. Augment summoning. Perfect. And we'll just round this out. So this allows me to, I don't know if it'll use this character's knowledges when I talk to the other person, but it'll make it an 18 to 20 instead, I think. Precise shot. Alright. Next spell. See, sleep is just it just taunts you. 4 hit dice of creatures. I don't even know if there's any at this point, even at this level. There might be like a couple. That's some inside game knowledge there. I like the idea of... Oh, is that touch spell? It does say touch of gracelessness. Yeah, it is. Yeah, alright, maybe not. Sure. So I could suppress mind-affecting abilities. Alright, and that was her. Character as a prepared to spell treat affliction. Oh. It requires a material component first aid kit, which you don't possess, which I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah. Okay. Pretty sure that, yeah, I definitely did. Now, does it cost more money to get more, or is it, yeah, same problem. Alright, so we got Kai in our party. You can all guess who the next person is.
This way.
I'll save. Proper save. We have... It's mostly just autosaves, isn't it? There we go. We'll talk to this guy. We've done this before, so I'll just gonna go right through. Uh-huh. Let's see. There it is. Yeah! Either I rolled a 20, or I just got lucky. I wish to assist you. I don't remember this person's voice, so I'm just gonna make something up. Her skin is dark, her hair is preternaturally white. Her red eyes can see perfectly in the dark, which, to my dismay, I've come to know from experience. But bright light causes her kind pain. I used an alchemical powder that explodes in a dazzling flash, and she cried out as if I stabbed her. Okay. It appears that this woman is a drow. Her race is also known as dark or cavern elves. They are rarely seen on the surface, so it is surprising to encounter them here. I'd like to know more about you. I won't hold anything back, not who I am, not why I've made it here, or who it is that I am pursuing. Alright. Tell me more about yourself. I was just making sure. Other people tend to believe that identity is the sum of a person's actions and events that happen to them. For them, I'm one of the long line of warriors of Kunin, who, since his youth, has dedicated himself to hunting evil and injustice. For them, I am a successful and capable huntsman who has tracked down and slain many great monsters. But I'm an elf, and for me, my identity has a different meaning. It is shaped by the place where I was born, and that I love so deeply. I'm shaped by what I find beautiful and what makes my heart quicken. So, your experiences. By the fears that come to me in the dead of night, by the things I find so intolerable at the sight of them. My very core darkens and fills with poison. Thus, to tell you who I am, I would require many days and much candor, which is more than you and I have at our disposal. Oh. So, your experiences, right? God, that's such a tool thing to say. But I'm an elf, and I couldn't summarize things if I could, be killed to do so. I ask him, why did you choose to be a hunter of evil? Because I'm a son of a noble and a proud nation. Oh, well, you don't summarize things. We're sometimes criticized for our arrogance, but no one doubts. I'm trying it again. But no one dares doubt our honor. When a crime is committed, we cannot turn a blind eye. If we were to abandon our obligation to oppose evil, if we were to surrender this obligation to other races, we would also relinquish our preeminence. Oh. How tolerant of you. Remind me, who was this query that brought you to Bendev? I don't really want that. I have no more questions. As you wish. I want to come back to this, because I might fail that perception check. Also, I want to see what I rolled. Kai did it. Nice. She rolled an 18. That was exactly what I needed. Oh, she... Go Kai. Alright, let's save the game real quick. I'll look at him. I think Kalessa might be a drow. There we go. See a shadow pass over Forn's eye for a single instant, then his face is just as impassive as before. A drow? Unlikely. It's more plausible that her dark service has left a brand similar to one that twisted the entire accursed drow race. A coincidence, I would think. Oh. Okay. So you think it was... Yeah, alright. You think a special curse went on her instead of the entire race or something? A little backwards? Or, They all died. My whole troop. Yeah, that sucks. I survived JRPG style. I got my ass kicked by, like, a demon god. Or a herald or something. I would have fought at my full capacity, but my tattoo's still healing. You understand. Catapress still has some fight in it. We'll make those demons rue the day they came here. Don't mind me. Oh god, I hope there's no book collecting in this game. I'm still doing it. Hey, Sela. Sela smiles at you warmly. Hey there! During that march through the dungeon, we never got the chance to exchange a proper greeting. It's high time to shake your hand. Well, we're all still alive somehow, pretty much undamaged. Like, that demon did not give a shit. I'd like to know more about you. Of course, ask anything. I'll answer honestly. Alright. Yeah, tell me more about yourself. Where are you from? I'm a little bit from Geb, a little bit from Katapesh, but mostly from the Knights of Iomede. I was accepted and began my training at 14. I belong to their ranks more than I belong to any other place. You've come to Mendev by a long road, haven't you? A very long one, she looks at you cheerfully. A traveler's expected to have amusing stories. Unfortunately, I only have 3 tales of any interest, and I'd like to save them for our next feast. Otherwise, I won't have anything to show for myself when it's time to start bragging. I know that feeling. Holy crap. Oh, I have plenty of stories, but most of which not good for company. And that just won't do. Especially since I'll win the night with my cautionary tale of a battle with chupacabras. Oh, jeez. You can't tell me with a story about fighting chupacabras and not follow through. What are chupacabras, by the way? incredibly repulsive magical beasts. Fast and dangerous. They can, well, it looks like someone's fooled me into starting the tale. I guess now I have to tell the whole story. Imagine a small town in Quadira. Down in the dungeon, there's two murderers waiting to be executed. The gallows are already built for them. The rope's been bought. But sometimes life takes a surprising turn. Suddenly, a paladin of Omide, appears in the doorway, offers the murderers a deal. If they go with her to fight some monsters, they'll live. If they survive, that is. There's a big difference between imminent death and profitable death with a glimmer of hope. Wouldn't you say? So we were traveling through the desert, me and my friend, a priestess Serenre, along with a little ratkin fellow who'd asked for our help, and the two cutthroats. We get to the Ratfold village, and we see their bodies laying around, all drained dry. We figured we'd have to fight some vampires. Well, you guys have been dead already. That's how little rat folk described the monsters who attacked their village. That's why we went in all brazen-like. The sun is high, and the vampires can't attack until dusk. But we never got a chance to look around. Black shadows, quick as the wind, attacked from all sides. Not vampires, but chupacabras. One of the lads we pulled from the gallows got killed right away. The second one ran for his life. That left me, the rat folk, and Kyra, the one that was the name of the priestess, and we all steel ourselves to the fight of our lives. And then, when we thought the end had come, the chupacabra surrounded me like a pack of dogs around a bear. Our ratfolk friend wounded and down, and the teeth of the quickest of those blasted monsters clenched on Kyra's shoulder. Right then, when all hope was lost, the other lad from the gallows suddenly comes running back. He kills the beast attacking Kyra. I'm sure you know what a turning point in a fight looks like. Well, this is it. That would have been funny if I said, nope, this wasn't it. A moment before, we were lost. And a moment later, we had it back under control. The chupacabras dropped dead one by one. The little rat folk reunited with his family, and we were hiding in the basement. Or who were hiding in the basement. The priestess and I closed the eyes of the boy from the gallows who saved us. It was a shame he didn't survive the fight. May the gods keep his soul on his journey through the afterlife. It's a good story. He could have died in a gallows, but instead he died a hero. You know what? Yeah. Not fancy this stunt earned him some points in his final judgment. It's smart to remember our journey doesn't end in death. Had it not been for that mercy, Milos, that was his name, would be hanging from the noose, and me, Cairo, and all the rat folk would be dead in that village. Someone told me that a kind deed done by an unkind person is 100 times more precious. By the same token, an evil done by a noble soul is 100 times more horrifying. That's what I really wanted to say. The chupacabras were just a good starting point. You know what? Let's see what more she has to say. Get a drink for a moment. What made you into a paladin of Mayday? Sailor's gaze sharpens momentarily. Then she sighs. That's a serious and good question, and a good one. You should ask it of your companion. But it's a long story. To start with, 12 years ago, I was nothing like the person I am now. I roamed the streets of Solku and the other homeless orphans. I stole, I fought, I was a hired sword for a bit. Not the proper origin for a paladin, is it? Back then, Solku was a city of orphans, widows, and widowers. Gnolls decimated the city regularly. Decimated? That's like 10% of the population. My parents were among those other victims. People there heard about new deaths before they finished mourning their previous losses. One day, a group of knights of Amide brought a glimmer of hope to the city, while the others saw them as saviors and protectors. I was busy pricing up their noble horses and gleaming mithril armor, wondering just how much one of their pretty swords would fetch. A thief lives one day at a time, and that's what they say. I was the type that never thought past the next job. Anyhow, I was able to sneak into the knight's camp and steal one of the mithril helms. She pauses, her voice sad and measured. And I was right there when Enola attacked the helm's owner. Esme is her name, and was dealt to her a blow to her unprotected head. Well, that's why you wear a helmet. That's why her helmet was lost. No, like all those others that she fearlessly driven from the gates of Soku. That one blow was fatal. But who was really to blame for her death? The Null attacker or the young thief named Sela? Let's see. I know what it takes to survive sometimes. I can't judge you. You know what? Even a seemingly small misdeed can have terrible consequences. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yes, you're right 1,000 times over. I hate to say it, but I just didn't see it back then. And if I had never got that lesson, my eyes would never have been opened. Who knew what would have happened to me if it wasn't for Esme and her bravery, and her death? Maybe the world would know Sela as a bandit, not as a knight and protector of those who in need. There's a saying I like to remember. People rarely find redemption on their own. Someone must show them the way. It has to start somewhere, lady. I hate the idea of there's always, like, someone that had to show you. You know, like, thought comes from somewhere. We were asking about what brought me into the ranks of Amide's warriors. We all chose the paladin's path for our own reasons. Some are guided by nobility of spirit, some by the desire to fight injustice. I became who I am through through penance and a debt unpaid. The day Esme died protecting my city, I wanted to kill myself for the terrible guilt I felt. But then I realized it wouldn't make the world any better, and I decided that instead I'd try to take her place. I'd become who she had been, to protect the innocents that she no longer had be able to protect. I mean, there is necromancy, but I don't know if you would like that very much. What are the principles that paladins of Imide follow? Sela smiles. I'll tell you, I'd like to recite our code. It feels like I've said it 1,000 times, but it never gets old. There is strength in those words. After a pause, she begins, her voice slow and meditative. I will learn the weight of my sword. Without my heart to guide it, it is worthless. My strength is not in my sword, but in my heart. If I lose my sword, I would have lost a tool. If I betray my heart, I have died. I will have faith in the inheritor. I will channel her strength through my body. I will shine in her legion, and I will not tarnish her glory through base actions. I'm the first in the battle and the last to leave it. I will not be taken prisoner by my free will. I will not surrender those under my command. I will never abandon a companion, though I will honor sacrifice freely given. I will guard the honor of my fellows, through both thought and deed, and I will have faith in them. When in doubt, I will force my enemies to surrender, but I am responsible for their lives. That's something that a lot of paladins kind of forget when they're role-playing them. It's like, that's an aspect of that. You are responsible for those who surrender and you accept. I will never refuse a challenge, for I am from an equal. Ooh, that's kind of rough. I mean, sometimes it's just not worth your time. I will give honor to worthy enemies and contempt to the rest. Ooh, really? Just like spitting on people like, you're not worth my time. Yeah, I mean, I will suffer death before dishonor. I will be temperate in my actions and moderate in my behavior. I will strive to emulate Mide's perfection. That's cool. Lame. Yeah, right? Thank you, I learned everything I want to do. No, in my character, the game just says 8 hours later I wake up from sleeping. Alright. I hope I didn't bore you. Ask me something else if you'd like. When do your stories get interesting? No, Arabeth says your friend, Jana is missing. Do you know where we should look for her? Arabeth is worried about our fighters. I understand that. I just want to look for Jana myself. So I didn't distract you. But since you're in this too, I could use some help. Boring. John and I met in Canterbury a few days ago and just hit it off. We went drinking together. Hopefully in moderation, because you don't want to ruin your paladin code. Unless it was a challenge. Did she surrender? Anyways, we went to that unforgettable celebration together. But then we got separated in the crowd. So we should start looking from the main square. Oh, really? The one where the major demons I could recognize on sight. And after a different artist rendition, and that demon that decapitated that dragon in one hit, just one dragon, just kind of. If you want to say it was a fight, I disagree. Anyways, that's where I last saw her. That was my tangent. Seela frowns. Jenna's a good fighter, even if she was green, or she is green. She couldn't have become an Aldari otherwise. I hope she's all right. What do you think is going on in Kenebres? Oh, that's a question. If this was Fallout, it would say like Intelligence 2 required, or like and below or something. Oh, but we got a quest out of it. It's complete chaos. It's lucky, or did we get a quest, or are we just updated? It's lucky that we're here to handle it, right? Stila smiles brightly. Then she gives you a worried look. Does the way I talk bother you? I know I can seem blasé. Many good people, and our protector, Turindilev, died here in Kenebris. A paladin of Emade is expected to be properly respectful and solemn. I don't know. Be yourself. There's an aspect of like following everyone else's beliefs into becoming a puppet. But I prefer to face my troubles with a smile and a bit of common sense. Hey, there you go. Good job. Grief is a weapon they'll use against you. I mean, I don't know, grief in moderation? If you can. It can undermine a warrior spirit. It's better that we hold off on grief until we have driven out the last demon and cultist from the city. I mean, holding it in can cause some crazy shit. Alright. So we got, if we want to win, we can't be mourning and are deceased day and night. Plus, joy heals the soul. You know what? I'm going to go with this one. I really don't care about any of those options. Now you're talking sense. Of course, I just kind of like... Oh. Well, you could trust in my sword. I give you a glaive, so... How much can I trust you? Is fighting demons all you want, or are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming the hero of 100 ballads, or at least a dozen, if they're lively ones? Seela's eyes shine cheerfully. Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the World Wound is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve good. There's plenty of the world, lady. Plenty. That's just a good place for glory, if you're looking for that. Being part of the crusade is reward enough for me. But there's something that worries me. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing my brothers in arms, but I'm going to criticize my brothers in arms. But the Eagle Watch and the other orders are focused on just one aim, the war against the World Wound. And that's why they can sometimes overlook the smaller things, ordinary misfortunes, you know? I always liked being a wandering knight, because any moment I could get up and go help a poor rat folk whose family has been kidnapped, or an old woman whose favorite dog has gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have a big important goal, but I'll be happy to help those who need it. A little bit here and there. Lady, that's part about an organization that's been dealing with the World Wound, and you being a transient who just kind of appeared here and was like, why don't you help out the small people? I don't know, did you notice that there's a giant gaping wound and a missing dragon? I mean, missing a head anyways. But, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think we should go our separate way. Oops, let's not do that one. Thank you for speaking with me. She smiles. See you. That was a nice little conversation. Let's save the game. Alright. And Erebeth. Let's see if we can get a look at Erebeth past the chandelier. Yes, about what I expected. Alright. Heavy armor. Erebeth rubs her red and tired eyes. Any success? How is the city? What is our main objective? You heard what the demon said. They're going to desecrate the ward stone and blow up the the whole barrier around the world. Damn. Just words. World wound. World wound. You know what? Wound world. That's been even worse disaster in the World Wound's expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canterbury, but every city with a ward stone will be destroyed, including the capital. We can't allow that, no matter what. We will retake it, even destroy it if we must. Limitade's gift must not become a weapon in the abyss. I feel like we had this conversation before. The ward stones, what are they? Okay, we have had these conversations. Tell me about the Eagle Watch. It is a small order, created to fight not only demons, but also the enemy within. To maintain the purity of the paladin ranks, prevent heresy. I actually kind of forgot her voice. Wasn't it actually far more feminine than I'm giving it? Anyways, prevent heresy and identify spies. It failed miserably at it. The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth infiltrated it and formed their nest within its ranks. And after the Queen entrusted me with leading the order, Anivia and I practically built it from scratch. We got rid of dead weight, people who weren't committed. We organized ways to transmit messages and orders safely. We introduced reliable ciphers. Well, that's actually pretty hard work there. We found tacit allies around the city, from Crusader orders to street beggars. I mean, God, ciphers? Like, I mean, some low-tier stuff is not that bad, but... This is my personal crusade to purchase the city from the Templars who had infested it. And I thought I was winning. I could feel it. We were so close to driving the cultist out from Canterbury, but... Erebeth frowns. It's hard to admit that those successes didn't count for much once the demons entered the city. I mean, they just kind of casually flew in and then just teleported in. Walls are kind of pointless when it comes to that kind of stuff. Well, let's see. Let's see. On the contrary, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a headquarters at the Defender's Hearts. The cultists would have served up the city on a platter. Actually, that's probably true. Because if things are turning to some degree, that had to be thanks to her and her cohorts. Exactly. Intrigue and spying means nothing when it comes down to honest fighting. That's fun. Success. When we got up to the surface, there were more cultists in the city than crusaders. Holy shit. You know what? I did say I was going to be a dick. Success. When we got up on the surface, there was more cultists in the city than crusaders. What exactly was your order doing? She lowers her head. We did what we could. But it wasn't enough. The cultists were everywhere from the start, and the demons just razed everything to the ground despite our efforts. Anything else I could shit on you about? Allow me to ask a few personal questions. Frowning a little, Erebeth nods. Please, but I must warn you. There are some things I don't have the right to discuss. Tell me about your girlfriend over there. We met in Timon, as I was wandering aimlessly from one ordeal to another. We returned to Canterbury together, to expose the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. The day the Queen knighted me was the second happiest day of my life. But first was the day of our wedding. Oh, that's cute. But Anivia isn't just my beloved. She's my staunchest ally. We share every victory and defeat. The best of me is alive thanks to her. Thank you for saving her back then. The day Canterbury fell. Honestly, she had a broken leg and she was rocking out all the fights. She wasn't even showing up on the initiative order for a moment. She was just coming in and killing people. Anyways, before her turn, the only thing giving me the strength to protect the Defender's heart was the hope that I'd see her again. We're in your debt. You're welcome. How'd you become a paladin? A bitter smile appears on the half-orc's face. I don't much like to remember it. Believe it or not, the story of how I became a paladin is also the story of how I became a knight. Huh. I feel like one's better than the other. My parent, like, one gives you magical powers. My parents were crusaders. May their souls stand together in Imide's celestial army. When I was born, they retired from war and started preparing me to continue their legacy. But my father was an orc. You'd be pressed to find a calmer, wiser, and more pious servant to the goddess than he. But still, all his life, he was dogged by sideways looks and whispers. Like, man, that guy's handsome. Or, man, he's real tall, built. Does he lift? Anyways. When grew older and it was time for me to serve, I decided anywhere but Canabras. That was where my father had served loyally, and his only reward had been injustice. Besides, the witch hunters, led by the honorable prelate Halrun, stalked the city with a heavy hand. Who knows what they would have done to a strange girl with green skin? Instead, I went to... A smirk that looked more of a painful grimace crosses her face. You can laugh all you want, or if you want, but I was young and foolish. I chose Lastwall of all places, because I know what that place is. You can imagine how well I was accepted in a city that's been battling orcs of Belkzin since its foundation. But there were many there like me, who were all treated as second-class citizens. To the locals, my green skin was worse than leper scabs. Even my brothers in faith kept their distance. I took my vows, and the goddess granted me the powers of a paladin. Just like that, really? Damn. It's like having one of those little tattoos that scans you into clubs. It's like, oh, paladin, boop, powers. But not... Imagine doing that for my own game. I got my paladin tats. Alright. But even then, not a single order would accept me into their ranks. I spent another 6 months knocking on doors before I realized the simple truth. I serve Imides, not these people. And I don't have to prostrate myself before them. So left, as a paladin, but not as a knight. You have to stick out like a sore thumb no matter where you go, right? Well, I know many people that envy Esmars, but the ones I've known found their celestial heritage a burden. I found it hard to imagine what unasked for adoration, damn, must be like. And I'm sure it doesn't make life any easier or any more pleasant. I mean, adoration can be like money and things like that sometimes, so yeah, it can be beneficial. Boundaries, which not everyone respects. Well, how do you come to join a knightly order? I left Lastwall and I went traveling. The goddess guided me, and my path led me to where atrocities were happening. I often fought in exchange for gold, but never for unworthy aims, of course. I traveled the river kingdoms for a few years, killing monsters and tracking down criminals. I mean, there's so many criminals there. Sometimes I thought I was just wasting time, that my true place was in Canabras. But I pushed those thoughts away. Didn't even want to think about going back. But in the end, divine providence has brought me to my senses. What happened in Timon? I was tracking a gang of bandits, which my employer suspected was a cover for Resmiran spies. I managed to find their lair, but inside I found something far more dangerous than spies. An unholy temple to Cuthson. Cuthan? I broke in there. I imagine some of the NPCs just talk like me too. It's like, Zon Cuthan? Man, I didn't make it. When I broke in there, the cultists were about to make sacrifice someone. A person who was destined to become my wife. Aniva, but that's another story. I was gonna make a joke out of that, but no. After I cut down the cultists, I examined the papers and I couldn't believe my eyes. A network of evil cults that spread across Avistan, including Mendef. Worse, the documents clearly showed that their allies, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, had infested my native Canabras and were even amongst the ranks of the Paladins. Oh damn. Like, Paladins literally have the ability to detect good? or Detective Evil, I mean. Just imagine. Like, oh no, it's not evil, you're just having a headache. Like, having that over and over again. No, please don't detect me. After that, delaying my homecoming would be tantamount to desertion. Luckily, I was no longer alone. Anivia was eager to destroy the cultists as I was. Anivia and I hurried to Kenabris. We couldn't trust anyone. The papers indicated that the cultists had infiltrated everything. Luckily, I had some experience in investigation, and my beloved, the half-orc, smiles warmly. She knew her way around working locks, tailing people, and trading information with the city's bottom feeders. Soon, we defeated, alas, not the whole Hydra, but a few of its heads. Do you know who turned out to be the leader of the cultists? The commander of the Eagle Watch. Jeez. Can you imagine? The prelate Halrune was chasing witches throughout the day. The enemy had infiltrated the very order responsible for internal security. The scandal reached the ears of the Queen. At first, she planned to disband the order in disgrace, but then she offered its command to me. Thanks. And put its salvation in my hands. Of course, there was one small catch. I wasn't a knight. But I was made a commander just the same, skipping the usual progression through the ranks. Oh, religion check. Oh, says it passed. I can imagine the followers of Zon Cthulhu in an alliance with demon worshippers. Shouldn't they hate each other? Yeah, look at those sweet experience points. 5. So good. Erebeth says they should, but Baphomet's and minions are bastards of deception. They manipulate Zon Cthulhu's bushers as eagerly as Emide's knights. The cultist Baphomet, the guy of mazes, Minotaur, they're not usually about deception, but... Okay, yeah. I mean, mazes and messing with the head. The cultists are from that unholy site didn't know the true face of their associates in Kenabris. We ourselves learned the truth much later, after getting to the bottom of their nest. Alright. Where are you from? I was born in Kenabris. I grew up in a farm just outside of it. But my way back home lays at the end of a long, winding road. It took me years of traveling through foreign lands before I came to be where I always belonged. Yeah, I know that feeling. How did the people of Kenabres feel about your background? They tolerated it for surprisingly well. I shouldn't have been so wary. Crusaders don't tend to be prejudiced. As a rule, after all, heroes are from all around the world, even from other continents. Come here to fight the demons. Apparently, the people were only suspicious of full-blooded orcs. There are already many here like me, and we don't have any problems, though the locals do have their superstitions. Mendev is as merciless as Last Ball. They just have a different set of victims. I kept seeing those same sideways looks and scowls, hearing the familiar whispers. But where once they used to whisper behind my back and point at me, now they whisper in my ear and point at someone else. It's so strange to be on the other side of humiliation. To wipe the spit from your face and suddenly be invited to change position and spit at someone else. You know, some people pay for that. You must have figured out by now that I'm talking about tieflings. It's true, there are many of them among the cultists. A few amongst our crusaders and our fighter do all they can to drive away those who would be our allies. People shun them, call them Erilu's spawn or worse. If they were chosen to be born like that. I believe it's quite a feat to rise against the call of one's blood to join the forces of good. Still, most only see them as the enemy. I once saw a knight bleeding to death because he wouldn't let a tiefling priest touch his wound. Yeah, that guy's stupid. Yeah, the god Darwin will come on by and give him an award. Alas, oh god. Yeah. Just imagine that. Alas, I haven't been able to change this in all my time in Kenabris. Yeah, racism's hard to change. Thank you for all your answers. She nods without saying a word. I have to go. Bye. Go. May Emede keep you safe. I'd like to imagine, like, Erebeth's like, Emede keep you safe. She, like, slurs over it. Just really awkward, even though she's, like, very religious. Okay. So now we can leave this place since we talked to everyone. And we have a ally with us as well. Imagine that could be eventually useful. Save the game since we did some stuff and things. Let's check the basement. Oh. Wolf job. It's, or old GIF. Alright. There is a... Let's talk to a guard. Oh. Well, this happens. Oh, jeez. Surrender thy soul, Delvin. Midday, sit, protect us. Ah, I got you again. How many times is that today? Take your jokes and shove them, tiefling. Hello, he's in there, chief. Don't hit me. Yeah. Sucks to be a guard. What if Canabras isn't the only city overrun? What if this is how it all ends? I mean, I don't know, but let me just take this stuff off the walls. Never mind, I don't want that. There's a person upstairs that want that. Take the dart, because I have use for that later. Yeah, sure, money. Okay. Oh, I could just let him out. Wait, why is there two? Is there multiple cages? Oh, that's to the outside, that's... I guess that opens that. People really don't care, I'm just... doing this? Alright. Be surprised what kind of junk people just leave around. That's clearly a door. I'd be surprised if it isn't. It's probably like a return thing. Alright, let's talk to Wolf Job.
Hey, Chief. Hey, Dreamboat, come over here. I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
The young tiefling sits cross-legged on the floor. He looks relatively calm for someone in shackles, but his tail whips back and forth in agitation. Noticing your attention, the tiefling sits up and, well, says his thing. Last I checked, out at Charisma 7.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljif, or I'll knock your teeth out.
What's it to you, Delvin Dum-Dum? You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
Yeah, this person's abusing already. And it has a picture, so that's clearly like someone who's going to be in the party, maybe? Who are you?
Woljif. Woljif Jefto. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want. Anything. But there's just one problem.
Nice. Your shadow, what was that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you. And don't worry, it's not contagious.
Oh, Shadow Dancer. Maybe. Though shadows don't generally talk.
Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
I don't know. I kind of like to look at a little bit of both and the present. You get to enjoy all of it. Well, hopefully.
He was caught thieving.
What do you want from
I'll
me?
lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations? No problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
Jeez. Make potatoes as well? Or the fries? Make potatoes. Alright.
What a load of guff. If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras.
Sure, I'll be a sucker.
That's easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty-looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy Woljif locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. You got that? Will you do
Sure.
it?
I'll do that.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
Sure. What can go wrong? Instantly dies. Alright. Got a Fallout campaign going on soon. Imagine people are going to be saying things like that all the time. What can go wrong? I only have a charisma of 1. Freaking 1 out of 10. And to top it off, being a super mutant and Nightkin. Jeez. Alright, let's talk to Airbith. Hey, you know that tiefling? Yeah, he stole shit. He seemed nice, though. He even said I was handsome. It's gotta be true. There's a tiefling chained up in the Defender's Heart. Can you tell me about him? Airbith shrugs scornfully. WotR is a petty thief from a gang of tieflings. I like that. Operating in Canabris. That's what we call them in these parts. Oh, right, voice. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we only apprehended one of them. The rest managed to escape. We have nowhere else to keep them apart from the Defender's Heart. But it's hardly a prison. WotR knows it too. Been begging us to death for days to let him go free or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put a good word in for him, hasn't he? Airbeth squints at you thoughtfully and then shrugs. Listen, lady. I'm just here for the story. I want to see the things. I want to get betrayed to see how that works. If you want to recruit WotR and put him into good use, go ahead and take him off our guards' hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching over a middling thief. I hope the tiefling proves useful, should you decide to bring him along. Yeah, sure. Alright. Let's just run way over here, teleport through that doorway. We walking. Run.
Wherever my legs
Just
carry me.
okay. Just move like you're tired. That's cool. Alright, WotR.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
I talked to Airbeth, and I decided to take you a part of my troop. See how that goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
And if anything, I gained some experience.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
Being fleeced sounds comfortable.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can ya? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long.
I'll see if I can remember this person's voice. Z says for everyone.
And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that big sister Charisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following?
Sort of.
Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go, I'll show you the way.
Oh, and he's just fucks off. Cool. Do I have to level him up? Oh, okay, I was about to say, let's see. Oh, I haven't read almost any of these things. Okay. Knight Errant. And these change over time. Oh, I see. I can actually go back to it, can't I? It's unusual to find so much cheer in a person with such a dark past. And strange to see a former thief and a street urchin wearing the shining armor of Amede's paladin. This young woman has forged her faith from the pain of her losses. In her thirst for justice and redemption, she has managed to preserve her compassion and kindness underneath her steel armor. Will this become Sela's weakness, leading her to her ultimate ruin? And there's Bitchface. Windu. See, at least I can get Wingu. This lady just seems annoying already. I am interested in her story, though. Camilla has both youth and talent in her favor. She tirelessly fights demons and cultists alike, but prefers to keep her distance from her fellow warriors. It's hard to tell if this is arrogance inherent to some people of noble birth, or if she has another reason for keeping her companions at arm's length. Probably the spirits. And I'm pretty sure I read hers. Mercenary. Very good story. Very good. No honor amongst thieves. Oh, look at that shadow. Elder Scoundrel? Oh, that's a rogue. Alright. And he dual wields. Okay. So, he's gonna die real quick. As a descendant of demons, tieflings are not the most respected or trusted of Mendiv citizens, to put it so mildly. However, a few minutes in a conversation with Wolfjob is enough to see that it isn't prejudice that working against this particular tiefling. It's his puddle-deep personality. His membership of one of the Mendiv's biggest thief gangs, and his chronic inability to stick to anything, even his own principles. Wolfjob sees Jaicecian purely as a convenient way to solve a few of his problems. At least for now. Ooh, look at those bonuses. It's not bad. Alright. I'll have to get you a ranged weapon because you will die in the front lines, friend. At least he's not the worst, at least. Alright. And that's actually a total of 6 members. So, not bad. Let's talk to Delvin. Go ahead, don't take too long, go. Yeah. Thank you to everyone who supported me through the streams and videos. My awesome wife, my awesome moderator, along with my subscribers on Twitch. And a huge thank you to those who simply watch the videos and just lurk during the streams. I also want to thank my Patreon support. Thank you, Zayla Darkwater. If you liked the video, please follow the channel and share the video. Have a good day.